The first big question, should we hold Indigo alone responsible for the chaos, or must the government take responsibility for it? Is Indigo alone responsible, or must the government take responsibility? Remember, that's precisely the question I posed to the Civil Aviation Minister, K. Ram Mohan Naidu. Before I come to my guests, let's just listen in to what Ram Mohan Naidu said when I asked him this direct question. Who is accountable? Listen in.
मैं ये कहना चाहूँगा कि जो ये इंडिगो का क्राइसिस हुआ है, ये ग्रॉस मिसमैनेजमेंट ऑफ इंडिगो है। उनके इंटरनल क्रू रोस्टरिंग सिस्टम जो ठीक चलना चाहिए था, जो उनके हिसाब से ही उन्होंने कंप्लायंस लिया था कि न्यू गाइडलाइंस के तहत या जो भी सेफ्टी नॉर्म्स है उसके तहत जो कंप्लायंस लिया उन्होंने, तो उसके तहत वो ठीक चलना चाहिए था। तो उन्होंने अपने अंदर जो इंटरनल क्रू रोस्टरिंग मैनेजमेंट का जो है उसमें गड़बड़ी करी। उसके वजह से एक टम्बलिंग ब्लॉक की तरह ऑपरेशंस 3rd को 4th को 5th को हमने जो कैंसिलेशंस देखे या डिलेज एट एयरपोर्ट्स देखे वो सब देखने को मिला। तो डेफिनेटली द फर्स्ट थिंग दैट आई वुड वांट टू मेक इट वेरी वेरी क्लियर इज दैट द मिस्टेक लाइज एट इंडिगो एंड देयर मैनेजमेंट, हाउ दे हैव done the roster, how they have managed the operations. So that is the first mistake that they have done.
So the prime responsibility is being pinned on Indigo. Now, just to explain, how did Indigo go into this tailspin? The DGCA notified the flight duty time limitation norms in January 2024, but the truth is Indigo failed to hire extra pilots that were needed. The airline's pilot strength, in fact, declined from 5,463 in March to 5,085 in December. In 4 meetings with the Director General for Civil Aviation, DGCA, Indigo maintained it was ready for these new pilot norms. Did the DGCA check Indigo's claim? How did it allow it then to increase winter ops? Indigo's crew management software wobbled after the new rules came in. 1,200 flights were cancelled in November. Indigo still told DGCA all's under control. On December 4th, matters reached the ceiling because crew management software went haywire, 625 cancelled. Crew management software collapsed on the next day, that was last Friday, 1623 flights cancelled. That's really the backdrop to all that we've seen. Remember? Okay, I just want to also put the pilot to aircraft ratio. Indigo 13:1, Air India is 26:1, Akasa Air 15:1 aircraft, and SpiceJet 7:1. Remember my first question, who is to be held accountable? Is it primarily Indigo? Jitendra Bhargava, you kick it off because you've been among those who from day one have been saying Indigo has much to answer for. Quick answers from all 6 of you. You start first.
Rajdeep, it's entirely Indigo who should be held accountable, the management, the board of directors. There are people who are suggesting that DGCA ought to have been monitoring the status of pilots recruitment, induction, availability. To me, that would be interference in the working of an autonomous company which is accountable to the board, and the management should be totally this thing. If DGCA was to start interfering and seeking information on these kind of things prior to any meltdown, then the Indigo management could have come and the board of directors would have come. Why are you interfering in our affairs?
No, so is it interference or regulation?
Indigo management
was it
board
interference or regulation? The DGCA is the regulator. Surely the regulator should have known that an airline is not adhering to the norms all these months?
No. No, Rajdeep, let me put it this way. The date of implementation of the second phase of FDTL was 1st of November. Now, why would DGCA ask whether you're prepared or not? They have told DGCA in very categorical words that we are ready to comply with the revised regulation. Now, if DGCA was to say, come and show me the data, how prepared are you? To me, that is interference. Even in the case of Air India, DGCA had never done this.
Okay. So you're putting the blame primarily on Indigo. Sanjay Lazar, as someone who I've been seeing on social media raising several questions also about governments handling DGCA, should the prime accountability be that of the airline? It's a private airline. It's a listed company with a board of directors of some real A-listers. Should they not have got their act together?
Rajdeep, I disagree with Mr. Bhargav, my former director and boss. The law provides every airline will be monitored by the DGCA and the ministry. I will cite you the rules, Section 3 and Section 8 of the DGCA car, Aircraft Act 1934, Rules 1937, Rule 134A, and Section 3 all mandate that every airline will submit its standard force, will submit its schedule in advance. These will be monitored by FID. After the Ahmedabad crash, Rajdeep, Air Marshal Keeler, I believe, was in charge of that. He wrote a report and they created a flight inspector directorate. There are officers who are deputed to that FID who are supposed to monitor induction of pilots on a monthly basis. It's not interference, sir. It is regulation. It has been done by Air India. I myself, in my last years, when I was grounded medically, sat in operations and did schedules. Rajdeep, 2 months before the winter schedule came in, we ran the entire schedule. The DGCA was sent the standard force, the 7 sets per aircraft or the 12 sets per aircraft, the way we operate. They have a right to do it. It is their bounden duty. So therefore, I saw your interview with the minister that day at that panel, and I wanted to write to you to tell you the minister does not even know his car. He does not even know the act that he changed in Parliament a few months ago when he called it the Bharatiya Sahita. You know, it's all there. Rajdeep, it's there. The documents are there. I can share it with you. So it is
it's very
the
interesting. It's
responsibility of
very
the government.
interesting today. It's very interesting. DGCA has now suspended 4 of its officers, allegedly for dereliction of duty. So clearly there is a DGCA angle. But Sanat Kaul, you've been a former Joint Secretary, Ministry of Civil Aviation. Should we be pinning the door at the government or indeed DGCA's door, or as a private airline, as I say, with a stellar board of directors, with a publicly listed company, could IndiGo have got away so easily by saying, look, it was, and they blamed everyone. At the moment, they don't seem to blame themselves. They blame the fact that there was congestion in the air, the fact that there were other issues, but do not blame themselves.
Yes, I would put IndiGo as fully responsible, but I will give, say, 90% responsible and 10% to DGCA, because DGCA has a supervisory role and they should have ensured that they had taken enough pilots to meet the new FDTT guidelines.
So how do you do that?
extent,
Are you saying every month they should be monitoring whether IndiGo is hiring pilots? Is that the job in your view of DGCA?
Month, but this was a new thing, and they could have taken some steps to monitor it. But as I said, 90% or even 95% IndiGo is responsible.
Okay.
But there should have been some supervision. I mean, there has to be a due diligence, by DGCA that all the airlines. I'm not talking about IndiGo. That all of them are following the new guidelines. That's the main thing. And to that extent,
Dr. Sumit Susilan, your chairman, Divine Air, do you believe that IndiGo can get away by simply giving extraneous factors responsible for the meltdown, not taking enough corporate responsibility for perhaps failure in governance?
No, Rajesh, no way. It's an entirely responsibility of IndiGo, because IndiGo is the airline which know how many aircraft they're getting every week. Average, every 9 days they're getting delivery of 1 aircraft, and keeping this thing in mind, they had bidded for the winter schedule, and on that basis only they had got the more sectors in the winter schedule, as well as they have contracted with multiple companies for pilot trainings. So now every month they have intake of pilot, but from past 6 months they are not recruiting pilots. They are in cost-cutting mode. So now, at the time of Parliament session, when the winter schedule is starting for Parliament, the same time why they had gone in this way, they cancelled all the flights, is something pre-planned. Because every airline operator
You're saying IndiGo pre-planned it? You're claiming IndiGo pre-planned this to arm twist the government? Is that what you're saying? So that the FDA norms would not come in place?
Yeah, if every airline can do that thing, why the only company IndiGo with 65% market share can't do that? Until November, yes, they cancel multiple flights, but they're not said that we have any hurdles. They are coming to DGC office, giving their report, saying yes, by first week of December everything will be normal. Then suddenly, why 1,600 flight got cancelled? Definitely, IndiGo is aware they have the pilots, and last month they are saying they don't have pilots, and that weather issues and all. How come? So definitely,
Captain Amit
IndiGo
Singh,
has to be blamed.
Captain Amit Singh, do you believe IndiGo pulled the wool over DGCA's eyes, or DGCA turned a blind eye? And what about the board of directors?
Look, when you investigate an incident like this, the proximate cause is, yes, IndiGo did it. because that is the first entity which comes into fore. So, but the root cause is something else. Root cause means if you eliminate that issue, it will not happen again. You can blame Indigo, yes, for their faults, etc. You can penalize them, but it will happen again. So, to go to the root cause, you have to go deeper inside.
So what's the root
I'll
cause?
cite your
What is the
interview.
root cause?
So I'm coming to that. I'll cite your interview yesterday. The Honorable Minister very clearly said that there were cancellations in November when the FETL was implemented. Then things stabilized. And on 1st of December, there was a meeting between DGCA, Indigo, and the ministry. So what was the need for the ministry to come in when DGCA wanted certain clarifications? Had they got clarifications, they could have sought clarifications from DGCA. Why the ministry? So clarification is not being sought. Extension or exemption is being sought, which did not happen probably. And this is what perpetuated. They said if you
So
don't give us...
no, let me get it
why does
clear.
the ministry
You're
have to come
telling
in?
me, you're telling me Indigo sought an exemption on the 1st of December, was hoping that the FDTL norms would be pushed back by a few months. And because it didn't happen, they got caught unawares, or the government, or they expected the government, because they are such a monopoly player, they expected the government to climb down and said, okay, we'll give you 3 more months. That's what you're claiming. Am I correct? Am I right? Captain Amit Singh, am I right?
Yeah, so a clarification, correct. So a clarification is only sought on a rule which is implemented, right? That can I do this, can I do that, and how do I do it? But what is the need for a ministry to come in for a meeting with DGCA just for a clarification? It is something more.
Okay,
Right?
there is something more. Let
So
me
it is,
just bring in,
it
let
is
me bring in
basically
Jitendra Bhargava at
asking
this
for
moment.
exemption or an
Yeah,
extension.